Hey YouTube, it's Dimitri, and today we're going to learn how to do a compression test on an engine here. We're going to do a quick test here on a Husqvarna mower. Again, make sure your electrical system, the ignition system is disconnected, and the fuel is also disconnected. You can just unplug the spark plugs here, but again, be careful because when you go to crank, when we do this test, you don't want electricity touching any part of the engine of the car, some shock. You could do some electrical damage as well. I tend to set these out of the way and make sure that they're not in contact with anything. On a car or vehicle as well, you can unplug your fuel injection system. This is a mower. I have the carburetor off and the fuel line disconnected. So first up, I'm just going to unplug all of the spark plugs to make sure we have no ignition to any part of the engine. Then I'm going to use a ratchet with a 5/8 socket. This is a socket for spark plugs. You can use just a standard socket that's a long socket because it needs to fit the entire spark plug. But a spark plug socket actually has a rubber little O-ring kind of thing in the middle that hugs the spark plug itself, makes it easy to pull out. Also, it can prevent any sort of damage from kind of banging around in the socket itself and prevent any cracking to the spark plugs. Then carefully remove the spark plug. Definitely take a look at it. The color of the spark plug itself can indicate a lot of issues with the engine itself besides compression issues. It might tell you have an oil leak or a coolant leak. You can kind of look up diagrams online for that, but take a quick look at the spark plug after you pull it out. And then you're going to need a compression test kit here. This one is from Maddox, which is Harbor Freight, not sponsored or anything, but I needed a cheap kit here just to quickly do this. This first piece here is just a dial, which is going to test the actual pressure and the compression in the cylinder. And then you're going to have all these different kind of wands and attachments. These will adapt and adjust to different size spark plug holes and depths here and angles. So find the right one that fits your spark plug. And then carefully screw this into the engine, into the cylinder that you're going to test. Make sure it is snug. So I just use my hand to make sure it's as tight as I can get it with my hand. No wrench needed here, but I definitely don't want it to leak. That's also why these attachments have a rubber O-ring to kind of help seal this when we run the test. Once that tube is connected, then you're going to use the quick connect coupler here, and we're going to hook on the gauge itself. And then we're going to crank the engine, and we're going to let it crank probably 3, 4, 5 times just to see what the actual compression is. It will save the highest compression from this test here of just a few. Make sure to look up the recommended compression for your engine. For this mower, I believe it's supposed to be about 120. We are coming in about 65, maybe 70. So we are definitely needing a top end or a piston rebuild here. Next, just disconnect the gauges, unscrew the hose from the engine the same way that we put it in, and continue to test any other cylinders that you would like to test as well to see where it's at. On this mower, you can see I'm probably about 35 on the second cylinder, which is just confirming my suspicion here that this engine is 8 years old. This mower is used pretty hard, and it's going to need a rebuild here. Anyways, that is how you test an engine cylinder here. It can be used in a mower, a car, a weed eater. The process is the same. You just need to get the right tools for it. Crank it a few times. Again, make sure your ignition and your fuel is disconnected so you don't have any sort of engine starting when you're connected to it, or you don't damage any electrical systems. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, until next time.